Tell them boys to tighten up, tighten up.
Let me hear you say it.
Whole city getting hype now. Tell them boys to tighten up, tighten up.
Let me hear you say it.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Cass here, and we are here to deep dive into the Tennessee Titans undrafted free agent signing of Reggie Roberson Jr., the wide receiver out of the University of SMU, who is an absolute speed demon. Reggie Roberson Jr. put up an immaculate career his first 2 seasons with SMU. So, we're going to give you a quick player bio. I'm going to run over some of his weaknesses. We're going to look at his statistics, and then we're going to look at how he fits in the offense. So, Roberson moved from Texas to West Virginia to play for the Mountaineers after receiving all district honors at Mesquite Horn High School in DeSoto, Texas. After 1 year in Morgantown, 1 touchdown in 12 games, family illnesses brought him closer to home. Roberson started 7 of 10 games in 2018, 6 TDs, receiving 1 TD kick returning. He began the first 8 games in the 2019 season, racking up 43 catches for 803 yards and 6 scores after suffering a season-ending foot injury. Bad fortune struck again in 2020 after he tore his ACL. After a strong start to the year, 5 receiving touchdowns in 4 starts. Roberson started all 12 games in 2021, staying healthy enough to catch 51 passes for 625 yards, and for the 3rd time in his career, 6 TDs. He opted out of the Fenway Bowl to prepare for the NFL draft, but the game was eventually canceled due to COVID concerns. So, we're going to go into some weaknesses and strength of Reggie Roberson Jr. So, strengths. A quick look back at his tape shows some potential. Owns drive phase off the snap with rocket juice. He has speed off snap. Uses balls tracking radar and adjusts to find the prize. He's able to move during his route to find where the ball is. He has a massive second gear. He hands off defenders to leverage a landing space for deep sideline tosses. Threatening speed can open easy stop routes. Moves with QB when he plays off schedule. Fills boundary and dots the turf to make the catch. Runs with a sense of urgency after the catch and offers some kick return value. Weaknesses. Suffered 2 season-ending injuries in 2019 and 2020. Noticeable hitch in his routes in 2021. Lack of foot quickness in short areas. Struggles to get past talented press corners. Hip tightness hinders lateral agility from shake routes underneath. Too gradual on intermediate comebacks. Focus drops have been an issue and won't win most 50-50 balls against bigger sized corners. So let's get into some of his, well, we've really already looked at his statistics in that. So let's get into how he fares with the depth chart. So, Roberson right now, as being a new signee, he's all the way at the back end. We have 3, 6, 8. We currently have 12 wideouts on the roster. How many realistically could we go into the season with? 7, maybe 8, maybe 1 or 2 in the practice squad, 6 on the main roster. So 4 of these guys have got to go. Do I believe that Roberson could win a job? Yeah, why not? He has way more upside than a guy like Cody Hollister, even though Cody knows the offense, or a guy like Joshua Malane, or a guy like Brandon Lewis. I know people are high on Jawan Green, but I haven't really looked into him much. I've watched the highlight tape of Reggie Roberson Jr. I actually think he's going to be really good. Do I think he's going to be a massive playmaker for this team? Not off bat. We have too many guys ahead of him. We're going to have to see how he does in preseason. That's where I really think he's going to shine at. His ceiling for me, season 1, is going to be this. This is my ceiling for Reggie Roberson Jr. season 1. His absolute ceiling, in my opinion, season 1, is Chester Rogers' 2021 campaign. And basically, I see a lot of Reggie in Chester, and I feel like that's really what Tennessee sees as well. A guy that can come in, play inside slot. They've got a lot of guys that can play inside slot now. A guy like Dez, who can play on the outside, more likely is going to play on the outside, but can play on the inside. You got a guy like Traylon Burks, who played inside at Arkansas. You got a guy like Kyle Phillips, who's a slot receiver. You have a guy like a Mason Kinsey or a Cody Hollister, who's a slot receiver. Reggie, I don't know. He's got the breakaway speed to be an outside deep threat, but he also has the inside speed to be a breakaway slot deep threat. So we have to see how he plans out. We really don't know yet. And that's going to be a lot of what we're talking about here until we get into training camp and even to the preseason. We don't know how a lot of these guys are going to play out. Like, yeah, I can come on here and say that I think a guy like... Who's a guy I really like? A guy like Theo Jackson. I could come on here and say a guy like Theo Jackson is going to win a starting job in Tennessee. Do I think that? Not off bat. Do I think he's really good and a lot better than a lot of the other guys on the roster? Yes, I do. I think Theo Jackson's better than Buster Skrine, Rodney Clemens, A.J. Moore, Michael Griffin. Yes, I believe Theo Jackson is better than them players. Do I think that Reggie Roberson can win a job for Tennessee? Yes. It's just going to take time. And especially with the wide receiver room being so open right now with Tennessee. Now, one thing that could really shut down Reggie's whole thing is if the Titans go out and sign Will Fuller. If the Titans go out and sign Will Fuller, I think that really hurts Reggie's chances of making this roster. Because we really need a deep threat on this roster that we really don't have. Robert Woods isn't that. He's more of a blocking short route receiver. Traylon Burks may have the breakaway to get. Same with Nick. Nick and Robert Woods are really polar similarities. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Tennessee Titans Breakdown where we dived into Reggie Roberson Jr. Next episode, I believe, maybe Dylan Redun's. Anyway, we'll get into the next episode very soon. That'll be going up on Saturday. LAW Power Up will be going up tomorrow. That will be the last edited version of LAW Power Up. We'll revert back to the streaming version. Needed the month to just do some edited versions, see how that was going to work out. Didn't work out the way I wanted, so we're going to go back to the streaming version. And also, if you guys liked this video, leave a like on it. If you really liked it, subscribe. And if you have any recommendations for the Tennessee Titans Breakdown, leave it in the comments. This has been your boy Cass, and I am out of here. Bye, guys.
Boys are tighten up, tighten up.
Let me hear you say it.
Whole city getting hype now. Tell them boys to tighten up, tighten up.
Let me hear you say it.
Need